everyone, and welcome back to another Stay Healthy and Waste Less class. My name is Danielle Boulé, and I am the training manager at Leah's Pantry. We partnered with Fresh Approach to post new virtual classes every week, thanks to the support of the San Mateo County Office of Sustainability. We have been mailing Veggie RX vouchers to San Mateo County residents who watch our classes, but are now including everyone. So the first 20 people to view each new video and complete a brief survey will receive $6 in vouchers to buy fresh fruits and vegetables at local farmers markets. And the vouchers can be redeemed at markets throughout many counties, including San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara, Alameda, Contra Costa, and Solano. Those receiving vouchers will also be sent a booklet, either via mail or email, and that booklet will list all the farmers markets where vouchers can be redeemed. Okay, so let's get into the kitchen and cooking. Well, we're already in the kitchen, but time to get cooking. So today's theme is how to pickle vegetables. So pickled vegetables are a great way to preserve vegetables and also just add some flavor and color and variety to different meals. I'm gonna pickle vegetables two ways today. I'm gonna start off with a quick pickle, and I'm gonna do an onion for that. This only takes 15 minutes. It's a really quick thing that you can do every day and enjoy those quick pickled veggies for kind of a few days after you make them. Also going to be making a more traditional pickled recipe where you actually preserve the vegetables in a brine for a few weeks. So that's a longer process. But first I'm gonna start with the quick pickled onions because I'm gonna make these now, and then by the time I finish the other longer pickled recipe, these will already be done. So, super simple recipe. All you need is a vegetable to pickle. I love onions, especially red onions. They're nice and sweet and are a beautiful kind of pink color after you quick pickle them. Some apple cider vinegar. I like apple cider vinegar for this because it's a little sweeter. And also sea salt. So, I'm going to start by just cutting my onion in half. And again, anytime you can create a flat surface, it stabilizes the veggie. So cutting like this is a lot easier than trying to manage it like this. Cut off the top of each of the onions, peel back the skin, and I'm gonna do my little slicing cheat today, and again, use my mandolin, but you can use a knife and just slice this as thinly as you can. You could do this with white onions, yellow onions, kind of whatever you have on hand. That's what's so great about this recipe. So I'm just adding salt for mine because I like having a simple pickle recipe that you can use in various kind of ways. So you can put it on eggs, on salads, on grains. I think I'm gonna make some toast today, like some avocado toast, and put these on top. So I'm keeping it simple, but you could add garlic, you could add pepper, you could add different spices. You can kind of do whatever you're feeling like. So it's kind of a versatile recipe too. You could add a little ginger as well, good for the immune system. And I'm just gonna do one onion because I don't wanna do too much. One thing about a quick pickle is that they do not last as long as the more traditional pickle in a brine. I'll probably use these for up to 3 days after I make them. But again, they're done in 15 minutes, so I'll often make them before or when I'm starting to make dinner or a meal, and then by the time I prepare everything else, they're just about done. The nice thing about this too with the quick pickle is that you don't have to measure things. The third, ooh, my eyes are burning. I don't know if people have tricks for for not crying when doing onions, but these ones are strong. So with a quick pickle, the vinegar doesn't need to cover the onion completely, but you want them well coated. Then I'm gonna do probably a 1/4 teaspoon salt. Some people add a little sugar, but I don't even think it needs that. So since the red onions and the apple cider vinegar are a little sweeter, I don't feel like they need extra sugar. So you can see now, you still see a lot of the white of the onion. This will change over time. Tomorrow, in fact, these will be a beautiful, just all pink. So that's kind of another fun thing about doing the red onion. So I'm gonna let these sit. Then I'm gonna get everything ready for the pickled green beans, and then I'll show you how to make a more traditional pickled veggie recipe. I did want to mention, so here are the quick pickles. They're already turning more pink, and I just stir them every 5 minutes to make sure that all the onions are getting a good coating of the apple cider vinegar. Okay, more pickling. Today I want to pickle green beans just because I think they taste delicious pickled. They're nice and crunchy and firm and salty and delicious. So I have trimmed my green beans. What that means is I basically just remove the little stem here. And you want to make sure that they're ultimately shorter than the jar that you're using so they fit. I have a pound of green beans, about 1.25 cups, a little more, of distilled white vinegar, a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of sea salt, a bunch, I probably won't use all this, I'll probably use half, of dill. This is what gives pickles the traditional pickle flavor. These last 2 things are optional, but I love adding them, so I'm going to. So I have a few cloves of garlic. I'm gonna use 1 clove as I make the brine, and then I'll actually slice the rest of the cloves really thinly to add to the green beans at the end, so that the garlic is actually pickled. And then I like a little heat, so I'm gonna add a little red pepper as well. It's great to have both liquid measuring cups and measuring spoons. We'll need a saucepan to make the brine, and then you'll need a large pot. This is a very big one. You don't need it this big, but a large pot to create the water bath. You'll need 1 larger mason jar like this. I'm probably gonna have too many green beans to fit just in this, so I'm going to use a smaller one as well. For the traditional pickles, you will need a 2-part mason jar lid, because this is what actually seals the pickles so that they don't go bad and you leave them out for a couple weeks without refrigeration. The water bath is what you use to seal the jar. Once it's sealed, it won't make this little clicking noise. Hopefully you can hear it. Yeah, okay. But when the extra air has been removed from the jar, it'll force this lid kind of down, and then you'll hear later that it won't have a little click, and that's how you know it's sealed and safe to preserve. So it is time to make the brine. So here's my saucepan. I added the 1.25 cups of white wine vinegar, a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of sea salt, and a garlic clove. So what you want to do is bring this to a rolling boil. I'm gonna pack my jars right now. So when the jar is upright, there's at least like 1 inch or so of the green beans that they're kind of below the surface. So I just have to put a few in there at a time. And you could even add some onions to this. I've added carrots and jalapenos, which are delicious, radishes, or traditional smaller cucumbers, like traditional pickles. So it's pretty flexible and just based on what you have. And it's a fun way to preserve kind of and extend the life of veggies that you may not use otherwise. I'll finish packing these jars. I'm also gonna add a few sprigs of the dill. You could get wild and try parsley and other herbs that you have. Again, the nice thing about pickling your own vegetables is that other than creating the brine and making sure your jars are sterilized and that there's a good seal, it isn't a science, and that you can kind of add whatever you like. So I'm gonna finish packing these, and then once the brine is ready, I'll show you what to do next. So So my brine is boiling. You'll see I've loaded up the jar with the green beans. I also added garlic on top. There's some dill in there and a pinch of red pepper flakes. Make sure it's filled up to the top or close to the top. Then I will cover with the 2-part mason jar lid. Sometimes these actually seal on their own with the heat, but you can tell now that it's not sealed because you hear the little popping noise. So what I'm gonna do next is create a water bath. I'm gonna fill a large pot up to, I don't know, 3/4 full, basically until this jar, once submerged in here, has at least 1 inch of water over it. And then I'm gonna bring this water to a simmer, and then I'll add the jar in there and let it simmer for like 10 minutes, and then I'll tell you what to do next. I've got my water bath going. Hopefully you can see, it's not boiling, but you can see bubbles slowly coming up from the bottom. That's about the temperature that you want to have it at. So you don't want it to boil because then it might actually crack the jars, which would be so sad. So it's about a medium heat for me. My large jar actually self-sealed already. You can hear, or you can't hear, the jar is sealed, it no longer pops. But just for the sake of demonstrating, I'm gonna lower this in with a ladle, just because you don't wanna drop it right in. It's a little hard with, just wanna kinda lay it in there. Then I'll do the smaller one as well, and both of them are definitely completely submerged. A big component of this workshop series is about wasting less. This is a lot of water. Once I'm done with that, I'm gonna remove the jars. I'll let the large water bath cool and then use the water to water my plants. Water bath has been going for 10 minutes. I'm gonna carefully remove the jars. If anyone is a canning or pickling pro and has tips regarding how to remove this, the jars, let me know. What I do is I just use a ladle very carefully and then have a towel. Again, make sure that it's sealed. So with both of these, you cannot hear them pop anymore. No worries if they're still popping, because then you can just place them in the refrigerator and pickle them there. They may not have as strong of a flavor, but they'll still be great. Sorry, I just dropped something. We're all good. My toast popped up, so I'm gonna do a little avocado toast with the quick pickles that I just made. I'm gonna add a little olive oil at the bottom of the toast, just for a little flavor. You could do butter or nothing at all. I'll top with the avocado and my beautiful new pickles. So these are more pink than they started off before, and then by tonight they'll be like a bright, bright pink. So here's my little avocado toast, and they smell delicious and sweet. They're really good. They add just a little bit of crunch and saltiness to the toast. So thank you so much for joining me today and learning how to pickle 2 ways, because I'm pickling for 2. Not really, but hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions about the recipe or the process. I'm happy to help. Thanks. Bye. See you later. Stay healthy. Shh. We'll see if that works.